the $7.8 million Dubai Cup. This is the fourth running of the Cup, won last year by America's best horse, Silver Charm. Silver Charm's backing up again this year, attempting to become the first horse to win back-to-back Cups. Can he do it? Well, let's find out as we take you live trackside for the Dubai World Cup.
Winner in France, winner of the Eclipse Stakes, and he absolutely slaughtered them at Belmont. And here, of course, High Rise and Frankie Dettori, the Derby winner from Epsom last year, running his first race of the year. Malik from Chile, with Alex Solis, born in Panama. There's not a country not represented tonight.
It seems like it. Here comes a running stag, Philip Mitchell's Charge, who was 7th in our Breeders' Cup Classic in the States.
He was. He doesn't miss a dance. He's a wonderful horse, bred by the Judmont Farms, out of a dear old mare called Fruiton Stag, and he's by Cozine himself, a champion Eclipse Award winner. Here's Silver Charm, as cool as a cucumber, isn't he? Very relaxed manner. Little bit of braided mane, little bit left for the jockey to get hold of. Victory Gallop. There with Jerry Bailey.
The international rating on this race, John, is stunning. I know that doesn't relate to a lot of people, but it's amazing.
Yes, it is such. Dubai is so wonderfully situated in the world. It can draw people from the Australasia, from the Pacific Rim, draw them from Europe, draw them from the United States. It's a very central location. Great place for them to raid from, a great place for people to come to. And traditionally, it's always traded down the African coast into India and Pakistan, here on the Gulf. So from that point of view, a great location. Al Mutawakkil there we just saw, and there is Central Park again. I expect to see that red hat very prominent of Darragh O'Donoghue's in the race. Be very surprised if he's not on the lead.
I was very interested, John, to hear Sheikh Mohammed at this press conference here make it very clear, definitively, this Dubai World Cup will stay on the sand track.
Yes, he's particularly keen to take these turf horses like Swain last year, who ran this great horse Silver Charm to a short head. There was a turf horse. He knows they can do it, and he likes to bring in the top quality horses from America. And we've got a great turf race here. I think the logical thing to do is probably build up the Turf Classic to a bigger purse, and then you'll have the best of both worlds.
And believe me, the American turf runners will come too, as that purse money is raised higher and higher. Robert and Beverly Lewis, the owners of Silver Charm, they're in attendance here tonight as always. There's Victory Gallop with Jerry Bailey as he does his warm-up. Elliot Walden, of course, the trainer, and worked under you, John Gosden.
He did. Elliot was with me. He comes from a wonderful family, the Walden family of Kentucky, where the work ethic is strong. Very decent, good people. And he was with me for a winter in Santa Anita. I had Royal Heroine then, who won the Breeders' Cup and was a champion. And Elliot used to go out on the pony every day. Really good man. He's done well in America.
You'll be quite pleased to know he's given up his basketball career, fractured his ankle last year during the Triple Crown Series, was limping around on crutches. I don't think he felt anything, though, when he cheered Victory Gallop down through to catch Real Quiet and spoil his Triple Crown chances to win his first Classic. Young Elliot Walden with Victory Gallop. Central Park, again, watch for the red cap with those blue silks of Godolphin. We do expect him to be on the lead, setting the pace.
Yes, very much so. And there we have them trotting back down to the start. So we've got this track worked out in everyone's mind. They run up this back straight, around the top turn, down the second straight, sweep round that turn into our long lane. And that's a long way home. Here's the Chilean horse. He knows his way round, 4th last year. He looks extremely well, and beautiful his coat is shining under these lights. And Alex Solis, who's ridden many good winners for me. I came over on the plane with him. He slept the whole way. I thought I'd have a chat with him. He got on the plane, fell asleep. 6 hours later, I had to wake him up when we were landing.
These jockeys are world travelers, and it makes it so exciting, the announcement here that Emirates, major sponsor of finally a World Series of Thoroughbred Racing, John. We, like Formula One racing, like the World Cup football, we're going to have an International World Championship Series finally.
I think it's great to combine all that and have it absolutely, it's its formative stage now, have it swinging by next year and into 2000, and to know that at the end of the year we'll have an accredited world champion is a very exciting concept. We need to do that. Every other sport does, we need to do it.
It'll start this summer at Ascot, right, at the King George, the first of the series.
Yes, or possibly here, you don't know, we're just working it right through, and as you say, you've got all those other races coming, turf races, dirt races around the world, Australia, Japan, Germany, England, Ireland, the United States. It makes it a very exciting concept.
It'll eventually...
Not that one horse can run in them all, but certainly can run in a good proportion of them.
It is the points, much like Formula One racing, as they described it. They understand the horses can't run in everything. These are not ones you can just roll into a garage and do some repair on, but it's exciting. It'll eventually build. Every one of the races will have a minimum $1 million purse, and there'll be $1 million bonus for that at the end of the series of the year that has the most points. Very exciting concept, and Emirates, the airline, making it happen.
Yes, they are. They are real flag race. They lead the industry in many areas. Great commercial sense and tremendous service, let me tell you.
John, what's it feel like right now as a trainer, or what would it feel like, this experience of sending one to the post with $5 million?
I did 2 years ago, and it was very exciting. He'd never run on a good old horse, won a few great ones. He ran a nice race, but I tell you what, we weren't in the same class as Singsfield was that year. He was gone on a lot of us, with Jerry Bailey on board. There's Gary taking his irons out. Horse still, he's such an old pro, isn't he? He's just wandering around there. You just see the mane is braided, but not down below, it's loose. That means that Gary Stevens, when he can come out of the stalls, he just holds that bit of mane. It means he flows with his horse rather than being jolted back in the irons. And he'll want that horse to break well. It's a small gate. His nose and his tail will be touching both ends. He'll want him to break well because he'll want to probably sit on a horse up front, get a lead, get him balanced ahead of the lane, and then reach for home. Because I think this track really suits this horse. It's not a tight track.
You see the jockeys adjusting their goggles. They'll carry several sets of goggles, pull them away as they become filled up with the sand here. But they say it's been a very kind track. Not a little stinking sand, no real problems there. Jerry Bailey certainly knows his way better than anyone else in the world for the Dubai World Cup. Two-time winner of the race. He adjusts his goggles as they are behind the starting gate, getting near starters' orders here for the Dubai World Cup.
They are indeed, and as you say, not a lot of kickback here. It used to be a creek, and it sits very well, this. It doesn't sting the horses and hurt them in the eye, and it's always been a particularly nice, natural loam track. Just, you know, we're in the desert. We should have good sand tracks.
Quarantine area is quite a distance away from the track, so the American horses were vanned over, in fact. And Silver Charm has been such a cool customer last year. A bit stirred. He does not like the heat usually. It had to be bathed, cooled off before the race. But he looks just a picture of coolness and confidence right now.
Well, I mean, he is just like the ultimate professional. He's like the great champion. You know, this is where, when Cigar first came down, he had that same noble look about him. It was rather like saying, you're the champion, Cigar, come down here, we'll put the belts down, like the Thriller of Manila with Muhammad Ali and the Rumble in the Jungle. Come and prove it. He came and he proved it. This horse came across the world, came to another country and proved it. And that's what makes horse racing, when people pick up the gauntlet of the challenge.
Silver Charm is in the box, the defending champion, and he is a bit squeezed, by the way, too. He's a big animal. Hearts are beating stronger now as we're almost set to spring the gates on the $5 million Dubai World Cup, offering the richest prize in history. And the hood goes over Running Stag to keep him calm going to the box.
Yes, it's a thing that you use. It's very sensible. Some old horses, they look at the stall. A lot of horses don't like going in confined spaces. Here we go to the commentary.
Derek Thompson to call our fourth Dubai World Cup, sponsored by Emirates.
And they're off to a very level break. All 8 runners went into their stride. Malik broke well towards the outside. On the inside in the red cap is Central Park. Also right up in the early stages is Delami. Then comes Silver Charm. Al Mudawakkal runs 5th. On the inside is High Rise. Running Stag is last, and just in front of that is Victory Gallop. Down the far side they go with a mile left to run. It's a fast, furious pace, and Central Park gets to the front. On the outside, Malik is 2nd. Running 3rd is Delami. Up on the inside, here comes last year's winner, Silver Charm, 2 lengths off the pace. Al Mudawakkal runs 5th. 6th on the inside is High Rise. Then comes Victory Gallop, and finally the Running Stag. One who got a little bit of an up there was Delami. He's gone back towards the rear, but it's Central Park who makes this. It's very fast indeed. Malik is 2nd. 3rd is Silver Charm. 4th on the outside is Al Mudawakkal. Then comes High Rise, Delami, Victory Gallop, and finally Running Stag. Continuing the run down the far side as they come towards the halfway stage. 5 left to run in the Dubai World Cup, and still in the red cap, Central Park leads. Malik 2nd, Al Mudawakkal 3rd. 4th being ridden along, Silver Charm. Then comes High Rise, Victory Gallop gets closer. The outsider, Running Stag's running a big race. Delami is last. Here they come round towards the home straight. 3 furlongs left to run now. Central Park in the red cap. Al Mudawakkal is 2nd. Here comes Malik in 3rd. Silver Charm's under pressure. Victory Gallop's picking him up on the outside. 2 furlongs left to run. Al Mudawakkal comes to challenge Central Park. Behind these in 3rd is Malik. Picking him up on the outside is Victory Gallop, but it's Al Mudawakel who has the lead. From on the outside, Victory Gallop, Al Mudawakel, Richard Hills, Victory Gallop this side, Jerry Bailey, 4 in with the line, Maddox looking for room, Al Mudawakel, half a furlong left to run, Al Mudawakel, here comes Maddox, Maddox might get up, Al Mudawakel is holding him, they're coming towards the line, Al Mudawakel and Richard Hills are going to win the Dubai World Cup, Al Mudawakel wins it, Maddox is second, Victory Gallop is third, Central Park is fourth. What a race!
Sheikh Hamdan bin Rashid Al Maktoum and Richard Hills, who, remember, just won the race earlier, the Dubai Duty Free. Without her, they have been the story tonight as they held off the American challenge that did not come from Silver Charm. They came instead from Malik and from Victory Gallop. A stunner here tonight in the 4th Dubai World Cup.
Oh, yes, indeed. A tight, hard race. Central Park went off in front like we expected. Silver Charm sat over the inside, but you could see round the last bend that he just came up a little empty. Gary went for him, there was nothing there. But this horse had been travelling really well on the outside throughout. He had what we call a double handful. He had a lot of horse going down the backside. He kept him on the outside out of the dirt. He pounced off the top bend, and then came Victory Gallop at him. Victory Gallop running a tremendous race. Probably hanging a little bit. If you look at Jerry Bailey, the horse is lugging in a little bit. Maybe that little foot problem was still bothering him. But here comes Sheikh Hamdan down to welcome in a horse that he bred himself, a Machiavellian that he owned and bred him. Bred and raised in Kentucky. There's Central Park. We said the red cap would be in front. Malik's run a wonderful race, battled throughout. Al Mudawakel comes and takes the race. Malik trying to squeeze through, but he's been prominent without. Now you see Victory Gallop, you think the Belmont Stakes winner, he's going to come and take it, but he never switches leads. As you can see, he's leading on his left front, he's near 4. He never switched leads, he just lugs in a bit, and to me, maybe he just wasn't 100% to put it in today, because Al Mudawakel at the end is very assertive and firm in the way he wins. Malik slipping through to make a run, a good second on the inside. And here comes Richard Hills for what will be the most unique double of his life.
You can hear the roar of the crowd in the background. Obviously a very popular win for the home team. For Sheikh Hamdan bin Rashid Al Maktoum. As you mentioned, he is, of course, the second eldest of the sons here in the Maktoum family. Godolphin, of course, the color bearers, an incredible performance by Sheikh Hamdan's team here tonight, and jockey Richard Hills. Al Mudawakel, a Group 1 winner in France, as mentioned earlier. Richard with a wave to the crowd, and the stranglehold of American jockeys in the Dubai World Cup has ended, as Richard Hills will come to the winner's enclosure here for the 4th Dubai World Cup.
Yes, he will. A very, very happy man. You know, they should say you should always listen. You had a trial race for these horses 2 weeks ago. It's a well-known fact. They felt some high rise and others would come on, but this horse won the trial. Sometimes just go by the evidence and stop trying to dream up different theories.
What an exciting moment. You can hear, I'm sure, the rhythmic applause in the background. The very Arabic sounds of the music wafting through the air here. It's cooled off in the evening here in the desert beautifully, as it does so many evenings here. And the crowd thoroughly enjoying the local victory here. We've been debating all week what this name means, Al Mudawakel. We'd heard it was far-reaching or reaching. Someone else said it had something to do with Allah. We've heard all kinds, but mostly just go on with it. Seems to be the rough translation, and Richard Hills did that nicely tonight.
Well, I think the horse knows the meaning of his name, because he did travel well throughout. I thought he rode him very cannily. He knew the speed would be to his inside. He knew from the sixth draw where he was, he'd stay outside, keep himself clear of the dirt. Look how clean that horse is. He didn't get a lot in his face. He's not an experienced dirt runner, but he proves that if you got the class, and he kicked it in, he won his trial. There's Sheikh Mohammed on the left in the darker colour, and on the right, Sheikh Hamdan bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the owner and breeder of Al Mudawakel.
What a great moment for the two brothers here and for the Maktoum family. Sheikh Mohammed raising his camel stick as he twirls it in the air for victory. He had a similar experience with Singsfield 2 years ago, but still make note, this trophy does not go with a Godolphin Gowland.
No, this trophy remains permanent. You'll get some most beautiful replicas, but not the original. Very great moment for them to have created this race, and then to have won it with a horse they bred themselves, taking on American champions, taking on the best in the world. And a very good moment, great moment for Richard Hills, a young man who's had to go into Willie Carson's, our top champion jockey's shoes, and now one feels he's born, and this is it. He now must feel that he's arrived totally on the scene, and a great, great moment for him, and obviously very emotional.
John, an important result, I think, for the future of the Dubai World Cup as well. Because it is run on what they seem to believe is the American circus,
yes,
does not mean others can't come from around the world and have the success against the American champions or any others in the world. But you must have a horse good enough to fit and have the quality of this race, and then you must have the courage to come try.
Yes, I think this horse, you know, he's a turf horse. He won the Prix Jean Prat-Gentil. He was second in the Grand Prix de Bahari behind Limpid, beaten neck. And then he's, you know, had a couple of runs. He's only ever raced on turf, and yet now he's proven you can be adaptable and switch. And that is why Sheikh Mohammed is right when he says, why move the race? Proven today, keep it on the dirt.
Said Ben Suroor, the young trainer, 33 years old, was a former policeman here in Dubai, but his family, of course, has been in horses all their lives, tapped by Sheikh Mohammed, who recognizes the talent of horsemen, gave him a few horses, not some of his top-level horses early on, but then he came back and really proved himself. Sheikh Mohammed showed total confidence in him, and now Said Ben Suroor is on top of the world, winning the Dubai World Cup.
We've got this wonderful crowd here giving it a tremendous applause, great national pride in this horse winning for the United Arab Emirates. They set up the whole show and they've won the race, and it's a big, big moment. And here he comes into the winner's closure. And what a wonderful horse to take all this noise. 30,000 people here screaming, shouting. It's a beautiful scene under these lights.
Has Richard Hills ever had a bigger result in his young life?
It's impossible. This is the biggest race ever won.
Something
ever run. And
simple.
For him, I think, a dream come true. He works very hard. This young man hasn't had a holiday in 4 years. You know, this is the dedication of these people. It all looks easy sitting up on a horse, quickly going around. Let me tell you, these fellas work really hard.
Look at this crowd.
His father, Barry Hills, trainer in England, will be very proud now. We never saw the English Derby horse. He lay fourth on the inside high rise, but when he didn't really, he got a lot of dirt in his face and he seemed to hop up and down and go back. This horse was cool on the outside. I'm not sure he'll ever get to the winner's enclosure. That is Sheikh Mohammed, and he's shouting to the crowd. They're very thrilled. This horse is, I tell you, he can handle a crowd very well. What pressure.
Another thing we should touch on is the disappearance of the defending champion,
Yes.
Silver Charm. He just, as they turned into the straight, you knew he was through.
Yes, there's no doubt. They picked up the gauntlet, they came back, the horse had trained well. Now, let's be honest and talk about it openly. We have no medication here. The horse has been known to run on Lasix. It's a humid night, a hot night. There is always a possibility a horse like this is what we call bled in our business, hemorrhage, and that is always a possibility. Who knows? Here's Gary, and he'd know a lot more about it.
Gary Stevens has just joined us now. Get a sip of water here, Gary, the pilot of Silver Charm. And I know, Gary, this one has to hurt because I know how much you wanted to prove Silver Charm was his old self. What happened to the race?
Well, I really don't know. He looked well saddling, and his pre-race warm-up was great. Liked my chances getting over there. Just before we entered the gates, he got real dull, kind of quiet on me, and you know, to keep him in the position where I was early, I was having to use him a little bit, and that's not his, not the old Silver Charm. It used to be when we stepped away from the gate, he was tugging up against me, and I was really empty 5 furlongs out. The race was over with for me, and whether it's his age and races catching up with him or not, I really don't know. But you know, when I knew that I was well beaten, all I could do was take care of him the last 2 furlongs.
Gary, at the start, it looked like a bit of a hop or a bobble at the start. You kind of fell back as he came out of the gate.
Yeah, I didn't have a man in there, and there was a guy on the offside. He was trying to handle him, and I was screaming at the start. And he actually he tried to break with 1 foot off the ground at the time. And it's still, I can't put a blame on that. He recovered very quickly. He was back on his feet the second jump, and can't use that as an excuse. I secured a good position, you know, within the first 50 yards, and from there, it was just a matter of hoping, you know, that I was going to see the old Silver Charm. It wasn't to be today.
John Gosden, a comment, question for
Well,
Gary
I was just saying how relaxed the horse was in the paddock, but maybe he was. In the end, he's run flat for you. And I could see coming round the far turn, you'd had to niggle him just to keep your spot on the inside there.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't happy with being down inside. And, you know, in days past, I could have pushed my way out and put him in the clear, and I just didn't have enough horse to do that today. But we'll get back to the drawing board, see if they want to try him again. And if they do, I'll be there for him.
Absolutely. I thought you'd be sitting on Central Park, and it's obvious there you are, dropping back, but you just could never have him where you wanted him, and he just wasn't carrying you. And that's a sign of, you know, maybe the heat, maybe the journey, and who knows. Time will tell. They're racehorses, they're not cars.
That's exactly right. And,
Malik and Victory Gallop made it interesting at the end here, representing the American connections.
Yeah, actually, when Jerry loomed up on Victory Gallop, just entering the straight 3 furlongs out, I thought that he was going to be the winner of the race. I thought he could sustain his run, but
Here
the
comes
winner,
Malik in the yellow silks with Oxalis.
right, great finish there from where I was at. I was getting a good view of it, but you got to take your hat off to the winner. Just a great race from him, and all around a good race.
Gary, how'd Silver Charm come back? How did he feel to you after the race?
Oh, he's fine. He's tired. He's blown a bit more than I would have expected with the effort that he put in, and that tells me there was a possibility maybe he bled a little bit inside. I really wouldn't know, but I'm not one for making excuses for any horse, and this is his 3rd defeat in a row, and like I said, the connections can go back and decide what they're going to do with him, but I'm not going to make any excuses for him. It's the winner's day today, and you got to take your hat off to him.
Gary, last question real quickly. You were brought over also by Sheikh Mohammed early to ride in this Derby trial, to champion some of his horses. Your thought on their try to come to the Kentucky Derby and win our American Classic race?
Well, you know, everyone in the States is saying it can't be done, but let me tell you, this is a first-class operation. They've had some trial races for these horses already that were exact replicas of races, and my feeling, the reason they asked myself, Jerry Bailey, and John Velasquez to come over is they wanted some American riders in the race, ridden American style, and wanted that kind of a feel for the race. And it was a very good trial. I was impressed with them, and believe me, when Godolphin or Sheikh Mohammed puts their sights on something as the Kentucky Derby, if he doesn't get it this year, there's one with his name on it somewhere down the road.
And still a chance at this moment you could be in Godolphin blue, the Churchill.
Here's big news for all Sky Channel sites. You could win fantastic prizes every day, Monday to Friday, in our brand new Ring to Win promotion. Tune in to see if Rod Gallegos draws your site number, then call us to collect your reward. It's that simple.
Join me weekday mornings just before late mail so you can ring to win.
I don't know how to tell you, it's not easy, but it's true. I never dreamed that I could love anyone as much as I loved you. But times have changed, we've grown apart.